automation to intelligence. It is GCCs in the age of AI. Please welcome your session moderator, Satya Mahapatra, partner, Deloitte, India, taking up the stage. Satya, now you know that we literally would be doing a fireside chat, so all the more responsibility onto your shoulders. You already know who would be the mavens who would be also walking in as discussants. Please welcome Krishna Kabra, the country head, Orange Global Capability Center. Krishna, hi, and a very, very warm welcome to you. Please welcome Samir Shaikh, the Senior Director, Head XPO India, GCC. Well, Samir, there you go as well. Vishal Pratapwant, the Chief Operating Officer, Global Services, Fiserv, would also be coming up. Hi, Vishal. Very, very warm welcome to you. Well, Satya, on that note, we will be on our mark. Thank you very, very much. It's over to you.
Thanks a lot. CS put me on the spot. So we'll try with a little question. And so before I start with the discussion, so how much time does it take to blink your eye? Audience? Anyone else? Any gift hamper we have for the right question? How much time does it take to blink your eye? Okay. So it is around 300 to 400 milliseconds. So we had this challenge long back. So I was in the high frequency trading platform development, and we had to design a risk system which can beat the trading execution. The trade execution takes around 20 to 30 microseconds in the high frequency trading, and the human eye takes around 300 milliseconds. So you can see the limitations of human abilities. And we have to design a risk system which can work with the humans and overcome the limitations. So with this, we'll start our discussion. And we have three stalwarts from different industry. We have Krishna from telecom. Give him a big hand. We have Samir from logistics. And we have Vishal from fintech. So why don't you introduce yourself? And also one question. So what is the one use case which you are seeing well in the industry? And what is one which is in your wish list from your industry perspective?
Sure, thanks. So I am responsible for Orange, GCC and a country head, the local business. So we are into connectivity, cloud, cyber security and digital infrastructure. So I think one use case industry, let me correlate that to telecom first, and then I think that can be very useful everywhere. So we are in the business of selling soul. If 1 second of Wi-Fi or a connectivity is not there, then I think your blood pressure increased by 10 points. Huh? So that kind of industry we are into. So and 1 millisecond or 1 nanosecond can disrupt billions of dollars on stock exchange if that delay is there. So from a telecom perspective or any industry perspective, predict and prevent. I think those type of use cases are very, very important, critical, because you have so many variables, disruption in your network. So from that perspective, I think anticipation, what will go wrong, can be a very simple logical use cases in any industry similar to telecom.
I'm Samir Shaikh. I work with XPO along with 400 brilliant minds operating out of 3 delivery centers in India, Pune, Hyderabad, and Mumbai. I look after the technology and the financial shared services divisions. If you're talking about the 1 or 2 use cases, I think predictive analytics is something that we think is very, very important, at least from a logistics standpoint, where we see, we would like to know the demand forecast. We would like to have clarity on risk assessments. We would like to know what's the churn. We would like to, understand and figure out on how we can prevent things. I just saw the presentation earlier, which talked about, healthcare predictions. I think predictive analytics is something that is really, really important.
Thank you, Samir. So I guess my turn now, Satya. So my name is Vishal Pratapwant. I'm the CEO for an organization called Fiserv. We are the largest fintech in the world, right? We provide software products for banking, for card services, for merchant issuing and such. 7 out of 10 times, if you've swiped a card somewhere, chances are that we have carried your transaction. So just remember that. And whether you blink or not, your card will get authorized or declined within that blink. So, Satya, challenge for you, right? And we are almost like a what do you call a utility organization. Today, if you don't have water, Wi-Fi, right? Similarly, you would be equally upset if you don't have your card working, right, anywhere, or your UPI or any of that, right? So that's the industry we deal with. Milliseconds is a long time, and we live that every day. In terms of use case, what I've seen, I think, look, we are, and this could be not liked by few, we are in a, where Mosaic or Netscape was in the internet era. That's where we are in AI. We are taking our past experiences and projecting, saying that this is what AI will look like. But trust me, 10 years later, we'll reflect back and say, you know what, I wasn't thinking right. So what use cases I want changes by the minute. So that I don't know. But what I'm seeing today happen very well is, AI is being used in a lot of places which otherwise would have been rule-based, right? The amount of personalization, the amount of fraud detection, the amount of dispute management, that is becoming better. But like I said, we are projecting our past to future, past to AI today, whereas the future is going to be very, very different.
Thanks, Vishal. So as Vishal mentioned, a lot of things change during the blink of eye. So be it in payments, be it in telecom, be it in trading infrastructure. So without AI, things are not possible. And also we are seeing a change in the leaders' demand. So 4 to 5 years back, they were asking whether AI should be adopted. But now the question is where it's happening and how should I use it? We'll come back with another question for the panel. So GCC, if we see if automation is the muscle which the GCCs are doing, then intelligence is the brain. So GCCs are currently powerhouse of efficiencies. If they have to change to the next paradigm, so what is the one change they should do? Whether it's in mindset, whether it's in people leadership, whether it's in the operating model. Over to you, Krishna.
Yeah, I think we really need to go away from cost arbitrage to now more of AI arbitrage. In general, I think what we have seen is we have almost 25% of headcounts, but only 3 to 4% of decision making happens from GCC. I think we really need to move from that 3 to 4% to 10% to 15%. And when we reach 25% headcount and 25% decision making, I think that will be the stage. And for that mindset change, attitude will need to change. And then just want to give you kind of examples wherein we are, as of now, kind of more of humble worker. So I think we need to really move away from that and then be a little more confident, do little disruptive things and create value and not just being doer. So from the perspective, be little bold. I think bold in the sense, You just don't have to listen. I think you have to demonstrate value that they then push you that, yeah, you take this responsibility. So from my perspective, I think 3-4 areas we definitely need to go and take a charge of BU or PNL type of responsibility. Second, I think more important is uh, direct interaction with customer and account exec roles. And third, I think we are very successful in India is CTOs, CIOs, technology and transformation. So those type of roles are obviously, I think if you see 70-80% of CIOs, CTOs are Indian origin, global leader operating from India or operating from outside. So I think our mindset need to change, not just efficiency, but we are not a leader based out of India, but we are a global leader, happens to be in India. I think that mindset is really required.
So well said, Krishna. We are seeing it is changing slowly. So although we have 30 to 35% of the workforce sitting in India, but decision making is few, but gradually it's changing. So we are seeing a lot of global roles in tech and other areas are being shifted to India, and that's a good sign for us. Samir, what's your take?
Well, there's not going to be one thing that needs to change. I think there are a big chunk of small pieces that need to change. I think one thing that is closer to me and I find it very very important is the culture. I think that needs to change. The culture of relating context, creativity, and innovation, that needs to come together. If we want the GCCs to be more and more successful and driving the outcomes. I think the previous conversations touched upon that. We need executive sponsorship. So obviously, yes, we need leadership support. We would like to have something that you call as focus on outcome rather than deliveries. When that changes, I think the accountability changes. The accountability change will certainly be prequeling it to something that called as taking off more ownership, coming out with more context-driven solutions. And I believe what we do out here in GCCs is not always limited to the execution part of it. There's so much of knowledge being put up, and when Belly was talking about the meta-national concept, I think I can just relate to it because you have, take an example, we have our financial shared services where our O2C and P2P processes are split over into multiple regions. These people have been working on for years, and they have tremendous amount of knowledge that has never converted to an hyper automation idea that can just seamlessly complete an entire P2P process seamlessly without touch. So I believe it's a combination of multiple things that will need to kind of change.
Thanks, Samir. Will innovation centers, global innovation centers in GCC, will help here, Vishal?
Look, innovation will definitely help, but let me expand that a bit, right? I think just taking further, and I think the first chat also talked about it. We need to move away from using discrete words and really think about these places as centers of strategic influence. Now, let me tell you what that means, right? In my mind, that means technology is a given. We don't have to prove that again. We are the technology leaders. Just have the confidence, like my co panelist said, and present your point of view. So that's given. Learn the products, learn the business. And when you talk, pitch for a business outcome. The moment you start talking technology, right, you have lost the sea level, you have lost the board, right? The moment our folks start talking, saying, this is what I can do to either uplift revenue or I can reduce cost. Reduce cost again is not exciting. That play is done. But if you're able to talk to say, this is a strategic entry we need to make into a segment, this is the revenue lift that we can bring. And by the way, we have the technology to enable that, right? And innovation comes in there to actually show that this works. So think about how do you really make this shift to being strategic influence. 35% of the workforce is sitting in India. And I would want to believe each one of us is as good as anybody else sitting anywhere else. So let's have the courage. Let's put influence ahead because we are backed enough today by technology. Let's learn the business and the product.
Thanks, Vishal. To summarize, we should have those global incubation centers or innovation centers in India. It's happening in pockets. Some of the banks are doing it here, and also probably they can work in a sandbox with the business, come up with small solutions, POCs, which can be scalable in future. So that will also give us credibility, build credibility for the GCCs that to build and scale up global solutions. The next question is for Krishna. So Krishna is passionate about sustainability and responsible leadership in technology. So how does what's your take on sustainable AI?
Yeah, so I think at uh, Orange we do many things, but I think I will focus more on GCC. So from a GCC perspective, what we do is more of circular economy. So we have almost 20 million spare parts and customer premise equipment and all. So we focused and created a center of excellence for circular economy. So recycle, reuse, refurbish, and make sure that you make a very big impact on overall sustainability. Uh, Being a technology company, being a telecom company, we have almost 500 million kilometers of undersea cable laid down by Orange all over world. So how to make sure that that whole system is efficient and not just carbon neutral, but even other environment, they make sure that they are really sustainable. So we have multiple programs, but from a GCC perspective, the team really focus on how to make sure that refurbishment and all our 20 million equipment are uh, very efficiently used globally. So that I think contribution we make from India from the GCC perspective.
Sure. Well said, Krishna. Krishna talked about circular economy. In fact, there were studies also like the 5Gs, the benefit of 5Gs for the economy, how the economy is going to be boosted. I think Krishna can share the numbers later. So telecom has a huge impact on the economy and circular economy, and a lot of good things are being done by Orange. Well, you can talk to him offline on that. Samir, what's your take on? So you are leading a high performing agile team, and a lot of tech leaders are also here. And traditionally, the agile has been like DevOps, uh, testing cycle, analysis. So how do you see AI disrupting the framework? So how should you integrate AI into this agile framework?
So, for all the tech folks, I'm going to say, like, things are changing drastically. I keep hearing this that, today is the era where, as a manager, you're not just going to manage people, you're going to manage bots, you're going to manage people, you're going to manage AI agents and stuff like that. And that's exactly a fundamental change that we are seeing in. We have a team that writes the code. However, we are trying to integrate an AI model that can help us write the tests, automate the tests. So a developer is writing the test, but an AI agent is actually testing it, from a performance standpoint, from a quality standpoint. And that's the change that we would see, a DevOps trigger that will basically like just take what is ready and deploy it rather than someone giving a manual sign off saying that all of this is ready. I think that's probably going to change the team dynamics going over years. What we also feel is probably going to improve a lot of quality. That's how we see AI integrating. That's how we see AI adding value to what we call as a technology development process or an SDLC.
Thanks, Samir. Very important point Samir raised. So we have to handle bots also. That they are also your team members. So there'll be proper governance framework on the controls part of it. Also should be incorporated. With that, Vishal. So Vishal, Fiserv is at the forehead of the forefront of the innovation, and how do you balance the tension between speed of innovation and need for what I would say get model, governance, ethics, and trust, which are the basics for the AI framework?
Great question. Great question. Uh, Look, I dream of this billion-dollar next product coming from India, right? And I think it's very possible. Now, the tension is real. First of all, let's agree there is tension, right? Because while there is a lot known, there is a still lot unknown where I started it, right? So I'll talk more from what we are doing, right? Today we have a group of the smartest brains, including our GCC in India, who form the AI Council. So every use case, whether it's a new one or for an existing product, goes through them, right? And this is so even before the first act is done, it is reviewed by the legal, compliance, technology, business, and everybody else, and there is a sign off saying yes, this is something we should do. And innovation, there's also a lot of speed to market, right? So it's not like this takes a long time. If you have a valid business case, gets done very quickly. Uh, very early on, our entire focus was to build on a guardrail engine because it's branded something in within, and whatever development that happens through that. So it's not to slow down, but it's to make sure that we produce things which can eventually be used and are acceptable by all the constituents of the organization, right? Which legal, compliance, risk, everybody else. So that was the second thing. So build your guardrails, build them strong, right? And then let the developers go within that and start building upon things, right? Uh, Once these are built, we do and depending each model that is built is actually classified as low, medium, high, and depending on the classification, there's always an audit done at a periodic basis, right? So it's not like it ends with innovation, but also ensuring that it goes on consistently. And as the as you innovate something, you put it out there, right? Many a times you got to be explainable in the industry that we are in. We got to be explainable to the regulators and such. Earlier we saw the white mask, right? Doing when a person put on the white mask, the image recognition was working very well. Now imagine something like that happening for your credit card underwriting or for your loan underwriting. That would just not be acceptable by the regulators, right? So explainability is built into the process, right? To say how do you audit it. And finally, it's a culture. Yes, we do love the speed. We do love things to be put out there in the market, but what we put out there should be in the best interest of the person using it and of the company.
Thanks, Vishal. So we'll be always innovating new things, but definitely we should check against the controls. I would say like governance, ethics, trust. So whether these meet those criteria and also the regulatory requirements. Now let's have some fun. Let's put them on a spot. So imagine you have a AI sidekick, super smart, powered by quantum computing. So what name would you give it and what task will you ask her to do, her or him to do? Vishal?
Well, I'll call it Jarvis. It has only one job, guys, to make my son intelligent. That's it. And do his homework. I don't want him to do anything else, right?
Samir?
Well, I'll just stick to what we have been building out, Exponent. So that keeps the name ready. But if you had asked this question to my wife, she would have said, make something that will read my mind and create an amazing photo or a reel that I can post automatically on Instagram.
Krishna?
I think uh, I think we have seen the movie Circuit and Munna Bhai, so I will give Circuit. I think it's a जादू की झप्पी और सब कुछ हो जाएगा भाई.
I will gift it to my wife and ask her to name it. With that, thanks to the industry leaders, Samir, Krishna, Vishal. So they have given perspectives on three different industry: fintech, logistics, and telecom. And feel free to meet them offline, discuss on the various uh, initiatives they are doing. And thank you all.
Thank you.